Become the mentally toughest version of yourself. 6 strategies of David Goggins to become mentally tough. Chapter 4, Strategy 2, the 40% rule. One of the biggest lies of your mind tells you is this: you are done. The moment you feel tired, uncomfortable, or mentally exhausted, your brain sends a signal to stop. It feels real, it feels convincing, and most people believe it. They slow down, they quit, or they postpone the effort for another day. But what if that signal is not the truth? What if it is just a safety mechanism? This is exactly what the 40% rule explains. According to David Goggins, when you feel like you have reached your limit, you have actually only used about 40% of your real capacity. That means 60% is still left inside you, untouched. This idea is powerful because it completely changes how you look at fatigue, difficulty, and limits. To understand this better, think about a simple real life situation. Imagine you are running. After a certain distance, your legs start hurting, your breathing become heavy, and your mind starts saying stop now. At that moment, most people slow down or quit. But if you push just a little more, you realize something surprising. Your body adjusts, your rhythm returns, you keep going. This shows that your initial limit was not your real limit. It was just a mental barrier. The human brain is designed to protect you. It wants to keep you safe from pain, stress, and discomfort. So it creates early stopping signals. It tells you to rest even when you still have the ability to continue. This is not weakness, this is programming. But the problem is, if you always listen to this signal, you never discover your true potential. The 40% rule teaches you to question that signal. Instead of saying I am done, you say I am only at 40%. This shift in thinking is small but extremely powerful. It gives you the ability to push beyond what feels like your limit. There is a very simple analogy to understand this. Imagine a car running on fuel. When the fuel indicators show empty, you think the car will stop immediately, but in reality, most cars still have a reserve. They can run for several more kilometers before actually stopping. In the same way, your body and mind also have a reserve. When you feel empty, you are not actually empty. This is exactly what David Goggins experienced during his toughest challenges like Navy SEAL training and ultra endurance races. Whenever the felt like quitting, he reminded himself that he was only at 40%. This helped him push further, and over time, he expanded his limit beyond what he once believed was possible. Another important thing to understand is that the 40% rule is not just about physical strength, it applies to mental strength as well. For example, when you are studying and you feel tired after 1 hour, your mind tells you to stop. But if you push for another 20-30 minutes, you will realize that you can still focus. When you are working on something difficult and feel stuck, your mind tells you to avoid it. But if you stay with the problem a little longer, solutions start appearing. In most cases, quitting is not because you cannot continue. It is because your mind convincing you to stop. This is why people stay average, not because they lack ability, but because they accept their first limit as their last limit, as their final limit. The 40% rule break this pattern is it teaches you to go beyond the first layer of discomfort. It teaches you to stay longer in difficult situations. It teaches you to expand your capacity step by step. However, it is important to apply this rule wisely. It does not mean you ignore serious physical injury or harm. It means you learn to differentiate between real limits and mental limits. Most of the time, the limits you feel are not real, they are just uncomfortable. And growth always lies beyond discomfort. If you start applying this rule daily, your life will slowly change. You will begin to notice that tasks which once felt difficult become easier. Your endurance increases, your focus improves, your confidence grows, not because the work become easy, but because you become stronger. A simple way to practice this is to push slightly beyond your usual stopping point. If you normally study for 1 hour, try 1 hour and 15 minutes. If you normally run 2 kilometers, try 2.5 kilometers. If you normally quit after feeling tired, try continuing for a few more minutes. These small pushes create big changes over time because every time you go beyond your limit expand. And once your limit expand, your life expand with them. The 40% rule is not just a concept. It is a mindset that refuses to stop early, a mindset that challenges weakness, a mindset that constantly asks, what more can I do? If you adopt this mindset, you will start discovering a version of yourself that you never know existed. A stronger version, a tougher version, a version that does not quit when things get hard. And that is where real mental toughness begins. Thank you.